So I think we're here now. Welcome. This is our lab number 9 of the Heart and Soul course. And today we're going to be talking about neutralizing conflicts, which is, if you were there on Tuesday, were you there, Deborah?
I wasn't, but I will
Oh,
catch
yeah.
up.
Well, it's just a really wonderful process. And it's one of those things also, like so many, that you think it couldn't possibly work, but it does. It's about seeing something from another person's perspective, and it just works. Philip was telling me, what is it they call it in the government? um the people that they have that do psychic kinds of stuff, there's a name for it, I can't remember, but they do the same kind of thing actually we're doing here, which is, in this case,
Remote
you
viewing.
remote, yes, remote
Oh,
viewing.
remote viewing.
um you And we're going to use chairs, which is a little different from actually what's in the manual. uh but it would be similar to what we did with the polarities. So the masculine and feminine, they have their own seats. In this case, in this one, you have a seat, and then you have a seat for the person whose perspective you want to understand. So you move into that seat, and you can basically perceive the world from their perspective. It reminded, we were talking about it in relation to remote viewing, because Philip was telling me that that's what they do with remote viewing. They just imagine themselves in this other place, say what's happening in Paris or something, and then they can see what's happening there. And I could actually, I can believe that that's possible based on having done so many of these kinds of things, where you think, well, I just want to see this other perspective, and with an intention, and then I think a process that makes it believable by moving into another seat. I think that's helpful. It's like that
Right.
person's over in this seat, or I think we'll be just shifting in one seat, because most of us don't have multiple chairs where we are now. um, it's pretty amazing. And the results that I've experienced with people, where, like, I remember most recently a woman, and she has been frustrated her entire life. She's probably in her 50s now, with her mother not seeming to be able to perceive things from her perspective. And she she wanted to do the process, and we did the process, and what she was able to see was that her mother had been raised in a situation where she was never appreciated. So she was still seeking appreciation for herself. She didn't have the capacity. In other words, she couldn't possibly have the capacity to try to understand someone else, because of the wounding that she was holding on to. And I think the thing with that, it doesn't change the topic. In other words, it doesn't change maybe the behavior, although potentially there are things that could affect that. But that's not really the goal. The goal is to understand it so that you're not triggered by it anymore. And the basis of that is understanding a person can be doing things that are very frustrating or annoying or whatever, however it is, from our perspective, from our subjective view, and maybe even objectively. Um, but the thing that we need to deal with is what triggers us, because what we want is to be able to view things that are happening outside of us from a more objective place, where we can still be coming from a place of love and from generosity and gratitude and all those things. It doesn't mean that we agree with that, whatever is happening on the other side. It also doesn't mean that we have to encourage it or even spend time with that person if it's not something that really uh, resonates with us, or if there's a reason for it. Even with family members, there are some family members we have that we just don't connect with. Actually, most. Well, they well, that's not that's not the point here, but having that ability to really understand why it is that it's happening, it helps a person, I think, not to take things personally. Like it's not about, usually if someone is behaving in a way that is annoying or frustrating or whatever it is, in a more, say, on a more objective level. I mean, we have our own opinions about things, but um, usually, no, I lost my train of thought. When that's happening, usually they're doing the best that they can with the situation, in the situation that they're in, and if we can understand that, then it can change relationships, because if you don't, from one thing that can happen is, if you're not behaving like you're angry or frustrated and just accepting the situation as it is, as with that woman and her mother, who she wanted to continue to have a relationship with. It wasn't that she wanted to cut her off, but I think that it helps us to be compassionate, because we realize so many people are hurting. So many people have had difficult backgrounds that have caused them to be the way they are. And we may not be fully aware of it, at least maybe not emotionally. Like I didn't really, in that case, I'm not sure that we got much into how much she had been aware of that with her mother. She probably was somewhat aware of her background, um, but actually experiencing it is a different thing. So, so that's what we're going to be talking about. Um, as we talked about, I think the last time I was with you last week, we're in this kind of theme of relationships right now that has been most of this month. And I wanted to highlight that there are two bonus audios. I think they're audios. Uh, the first one that was from the beginning of the month before this last three classes was spiritual plane communication. And that's another really wonderful uh, process. We actually, we we do have, I think we do discuss it in the manual. It's just we don't have time. We don't have time for all of the processes. But this is one where you just imagine going up. You could even like go up to the mountaintop and imagine you can connect soul to soul with a person, another person. It could be someone who's alive now, but you can't really talk to them. Like maybe there isn't, the communication is not open enough that you could tell them what you really are wanting them to know. Or it could be someone on the other side. And so many times people say, well, gee, I didn't get to say goodbye, or I didn't get to tell them how I really feel about them, or whatever. It's a wonderful process for in a number of ways. And we do teach it actually in another course, but it's probably worth looking at it. The other bonus, which is for next week, which is a week off, by the way, if you're not aware of it, it's the one for releasing attachments. So it is like where people are connected in a negative way, with other people, like where one person is having power over another person. They might be connected in the solar plexus, or someone who spiritual teachers, for instance, and this does happen. A spiritual teacher who wants to be able to have control over your thinking, the way you perceive things, and can actually connect on in the crown chakra. So that's a it, for some people that might be a little bit far out, but I think it is a real factor that where people, especially if people are in codependent relationships, it's really helpful to explore, well, what's happening? Where is the, where is it going off base? Like, where is that attachment that needs to be broken, for both people to be able to have their own integrity? And that wouldn't mean necessarily that you wouldn't still be connected with them. It's not like if you break that tie that you're breaking the relationship, although it does change the relationship. So it could change it in a positive way. It could actually be something then that um, the people just are kind of the relationship is not supportive anymore for people. And I think I did talk the last time when we were together about that too, that we come to a point where we have to eliminate relationships that are, well, like if someone, their relationship with you is having power over you. If that's the only thing that is possible, then it might be that it makes more sense to withdraw from it to whatever degree that might be. And we have one relative who is in that position who wants to have power over everything and everyone. And we see that so much in our country now, with people trying to take over everything about everybody in the country, which is interesting. So anyhow, that's what we're talking about. And we'll see how many people are planning to be here for practicing, because we could actually go into groups for practicing. So can I see if people can let me know how many people can practice?
I have to leave around 10.
Okay. Okay. So we have 4 here. So, or 5 maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. I think everybody except for Pauline, if I'm understanding. Okay.
Yes, I'm a little under the weather, so I would prefer to not be the practitioner, I guess. I've got my headache, and I don't think I'm in a good place where I could be super helpful in that process.
Right.
But
well, if you want to be present for it, we could put you in as an observer.
okay, I would love to for that.
Because if we have 5 people, we'll have one group of 2 and one group of 3.
Okay, beautiful.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So we're all set with that then. In our soul book, one of the things that we say introducing relationships is relationships are at the heart of human existence. And it is interesting to think, because I think one of the main ways, or one of the big ways, I wouldn't say only way, but one of the big ways that we understand ourselves is through our interactions with other people, through the things that we do together, through how we relate to each other. And of course, it can be also talking about just directly and indirectly, all the way that we perceive people in general and people in different parts of society. So it's a very profound area. And of course, we learn and grow so much through relationships where we have conflicts. One of the things that we always highlight is the idea that our challenges or obstacles are always opportunities. Obstacles are opportunities for growth. And I think if we can see them that way, where when something is presenting itself as a barrier, that there is a reason for it, and that's where all of these things that we're learning become so helpful, because we have tools then that we can take that opportunity to transcend whatever the limitation is, and that allows us to move forward more freely. And from that perspective, it gives us a real, well, it gives us an advantage over other people. And that's not to say we're better than other people, but you have an advantage if you can move freely through the obstacles, because then you can move forward on your path more quickly. I remember one time a woman who had taken our program mentioned that when she was thinking of taking it, and this was actually when we were doing it in person here on the Central Coast of California, she mentioned it to a couple of her friends, like, well, why don't you join me? We can all do it together. And they didn't do it. And it probably was at least 10 years after she had taken the course, she mentioned to me, Jane, I went back and I started thinking about where those people are now, and they're right where they were when I took this course. And she had like a completely transformed life, and they were still where they had been. And of course, I'm not saying like this is the only thing, But so many people are stuck and they remain stuck. I think we all see that. And you think, well, gosh, if they had all these tools, they'd be moving so much more effectively through life. Anyhow, I think it's maybe rather than an advantage, I could say benefits. It's a benefit for us in terms of being able to live our lives fully, to be able to work through challenges and blockages and not be kind of stuck with them forever. Um, it's just, I think I continue to be amazed. I think we just feel like we're growing all the time still. From what I understand, I haven't seen anybody who's in a position where they can't benefit from more growth. I haven't seen Jesus alive or anything. So, well, even from what I know of the ascended masters, they're still growing. There are so many levels of existence that are beyond what we can even fathom, probably, and connections, how we become more one with all that is. So there we are. So I think it always is just as a starting point, and when you're working with other people too, it's important that they understand that when we have conflicts and we're triggered by another person, there is a blockage. So you can't say, well, they're annoying. They're just annoying. Well, they may have that impact, and they may have a tendency to do things that could be interpreted as annoying. But what we want and what can happen is that we can rise above it and appreciate them on whatever level that's possible, and still love them. But our goal is not ever like, I need to change that person. I'm here. I want you to help me to change that person. What we can do is change ourselves. And from another related perspective on it, which we talk about quite a bit too, is wherever there are blocks, they take up energy. So if we have anger and fear and all of these, really, they're different parts of us that have been disconnected from our wholeness. Maintaining them takes energy, or at least you could say that it takes energy away from you being who you really are meant to be, like from your magnificence, from the genius in you, because there are all these other things that are taking up part of your energy, which also means that a part of you is not able to be present. So you could say with a person, maybe 70% of their energy is out in these other places, that is not allowing them to connect much with who they really are. And the more we can bring those parts back into our wholeness, the more we can just be ourselves, be comfortable with being ourselves. And also, I think it relates to being able to be present, to just be able to be present in your body, which I think I appreciate that more and more as I go through life, just being able to be, because I can remember times when I'm not aware that I had that capacity at all. So it's something that I'm very grateful for. And that's something we can help people with, that if we can help them to bring parts of themselves, more of themselves back, then they can live more fully wherever they are. So any comments, questions, anything on any of that? I think it's always exciting to me. So did you want to say something, Pauline?
Yeah, about like it's kind of raising the consciousness in some way in another, so that they can get to kind of see that,
Right.
because it can be
It is
very,
consciousness raising.
yeah.
And I think another part of it about it that just came to mind too is it's never about there being something wrong with you. I think it's so important to understand that we have this illusion of limitation because of these things. And the more we can come back to who we really are, the more we can just be with ourselves and realize that I'm magnificent just like everybody else. And from that perspective, also, there's no comparison. We just are all on the journey wherever we are. So the process, it's in section 17 of the manual. It starts on page 1. And the way that it's presented here, it's more as a guided visualization process, which you can do too. You can just have a person in the guided visualization process, imagining changing from chair to chair and everything the way that we're going to present it. And we actually learned this years ago. And the way it was presented to us was to have you would imagine leaving your body and going into the other person's body, which when you really think about it is not that great an idea. What you want to do is just to be able to see from their perspective. So it's kind of like walk in their shoes or settle in, if you can imagine it being a different seat, or just getting up at least and sitting down as that person, like you're walking, like you're in their shoes. That's
Not
a better way than
inhabiting
in their
the
body.
space.
Yeah. a little strange. So the way that we perceive that is a little bit different, but you can still go there and you notice how they feel, what they're thinking, especially particularly about whatever the situation is, and how that has meaning in your situation. It also then reminds me something that we rarely think of, I think, because we focus so much on healing, is using it for good. Like, what if you wanted to see from the perspective of someone you love? Like if I wanted to explore, how Philip perceives things, that because we have a good relationship, that it's something that might enhance your relationship to be able to perceive the world from their perspective a little bit. So with most of the processes, you can kind of turn them around. Like if you're looking at the masculine and feminine, you can look at, well, what are the good qualities that your masculine has? What are the good qualities that your feminine has? If there's a lot of wounding in there, you might need to go through that first. But it is really valuable to explore those positive aspects too. Like what is it that is so special about this relationship that I have with this other person? Or maybe you meet someone and you feel drawn to them. Like, gee, that person just feels so special to me. You could go maybe see from their perspective and get a sense of why that is. Who knows? Who knows what you might perceive? So, there was one other. Was someone wanting to say something? I guess not. There's one other thing I wanted to mention that is directly related to this, and that is the idea of what we often call keeping accounts, which is the same as holding grudges. Holding grudges is toxic. And so if that's happening in you or with a client, that's a wonderful way to recognize that you need to do that for your own for your own well-being, to release those grudges. If you think, well, gee, I've been angry with that person for 20 years or something, it may be worth doing something about it. And it's very common. Another thing, I guess, that just to mention it, for neutralizing conflicts, and generally it does feel like what we understand is that the other person has been through some pain, and you can get a sense of what that is. There's also something called narcissism, which I'm sure you're all aware of. We have wonderful examples of narcissism in our society now. narcissism is a toxic kind of psychological perspective that I think for many people it would probably be outside of their capacity really to deal with it. Or if you realize that you're talking about a narcissist, it may not be something where you're wanting to smooth over the relationship. It might be actually the important thing might be to break whatever ties are there and get out of it. So there are those times when it really is important not to be in that connection. So any thoughts on questions about that or anything? Because the goal generally is you want to smooth things over and somehow get along, probably. But in the case of narcissism, that may not be at all possible, and generally probably is beyond kind of beyond hope, especially where there's any abuse involved. The main goal is to get away from it. How do I free myself from it? We have one student who had she worked through a narcissistic relationship and actually built her whole practice on helping people to get out of narcissistic relationships, and is very successful. So there are many of these things also, especially if you've experienced something yourself, to be able to offer what you've learned to other people who have similar things happening is really, it's a great thing to be able to do. Okay, so the process again is just identifying one specific thing, as always. I think it's really important not to allow anything to just wander far afield, because you can really get lost in it. If more than one thing comes up, you can say, well, let's address this now, and we can move on to that next. Although if it's two things with the same person, interestingly, even if they don't seem like they're connected, dealing with one may resolve the other. But the important thing is just to be specific and aim for one thing. So you're starting with one specific thing, and I think it's good to begin with centering. Just do a little centering, and then allow the person to move over into the other chair. And of course, you also want to understand whatever you need to understand about the situation before all of this happens. And then they move over, and you can communicate with them about what the other is experiencing. And they can move back and forth too. Well, what you do want to go back into your own seat and maybe look at it from outside again, or whatever seems appropriate, to come to that place where they feel that they have an understanding of it and have received what they can from it. And again, it might be something where, well, gee, I wish I would have known that. I would have told them such and such. I think for me, it might make sense. Well, you can just imagine saying it now. Would you like to tell them now? Just imagine you can connect with their soul and tell them how you feel. Or you can do something more formal like the spiritual plane communication. Just maybe go up to the mountaintop and, and talk to them there if it seems more believable, maybe you could say. Or it also would help to elevate the level of conversation potentially. But it's interesting because with these processes, they may flow one into another. That does happen. Okay, so that's basically it. Going through it, and then, like I said, and there is a note at the end. You can ask the person if they want to say anything to the other person. So that's it. Anyone want to volunteer to perceive something from the perspective of someone in your life? like I said, actually, it doesn't have to be even a conflict. It could be, well, gee, I just don't understand why they do this, or I'd like to know a little more about whatever. Well, we need to have someone. I mean, is this something that you want to practice? Yes, no?
Everybody's hesitant.
Well, the thing is, if you don't have anything that you would want to practice on, it's going to be hard when you get into your groups too. So, is this something that you want to practice? I mean, how many people want to be able to practice this?
I tend to be almost so empathic that I don't have
You
a
don't
challenge
need it?
with I don't have a challenge with understanding someone else's perspective often. But I
Mhm.
think facilitating this process is interesting just because um, I can see using it with team members when they're really frustrated with somebody
Mhm.
and
When
they
you're trying to negotiate between people?
yeah, and they can't see why it's so. So
Mhm.
yeah, like I have somebody today is flipping out because they feel like they're not included and people are talking about the project and making decisions without them.
Mhm.
But I realize it comes from a place of, we've been not including people because we've been negotiating a really big contract and we can't have people outside of that process going and talking to their friends
Right.
about the things we're negotiating. So I can see, I can see very clearly why they can feel like they're not included because they were for a reason, excluded. So,
Right.
but
Yeah.
now there's a time where things are signed and we can now start to talk about
More
that
freely.
with
Mhm.
everybody publicly,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, and that is often the case with people that there are misunderstandings about why uh, something is the way it is or why someone's
yeah,
requesting something. Yeah, there's
yeah.
so many places where we can misunderstand each other.
And yet it's really interesting too, because her manager called me and they said, well, maybe she's not a good fit for the project. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like just because somebody's being emotional, I said, think about this. She cares about the project. She wants to do a good job. She wants to be included. She is emotionally upset, which is telling you she's invested.
Right.
I think those are all great qualities that we want to have on people
Mhm.
that are working together. It's just, we need to manage that and manage expectations and communicate and talk about it
Right.
and
Yeah.
help her. And actually, the fact that she is okay expressing this instead of just shoving it somewhere. Like,
Right. Yeah,
I
that's
think
true
those are
that
all good
she is
things.
reaching out
Yeah, she's
rather
saying,
than
help
just sitting
me.
and fuming or something, which
Yeah,
doesn't help either.
exactly. So I said,
Right.
well, maybe there's a different way to look at it as she has lots of qualities that are showing that she
Yeah.
she cares, she's invested, she really wants to do this. Those are all great attributes. She's
Yeah.
just having a bit of an emotional crisis at the moment,
Yeah, well, letting
which
people
we
know
can work with.
how they
Yeah,
can be of value, because
yeah,
if you're working with a lot of people, often there are misunderstandings. Like people maybe are wanting to move into areas that are inappropriate, and it just is a fact,
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting.
So
Thank you.
it's an interesting,
Yeah.
so I could see subtly using this process with people,
Yeah,
right? And saying, well, let's look
look
at
at it from their
what
perspective.
information
Right.
they have or not had so far, right?
Right.
That
Yeah.
might cause
hmm
what they're feeling, right? And also, what are the facts underlying it too? Because there's probably something in there that's of value for everybody else.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Okay. Well, we still need
we still need
a
a,
volunteer. Since we're not getting anywhere, I have a far out idea. Anyone have a pet that you would like to know why they behave the way they do?
oh,
I do.
Do you, Marcia? Really?
oh, you're on mute.
Yeah, you're muted.
Now, my dog is pooping in the floor lately. I don't know what's going on with her.
Doing what?
She's pooping in the floor while I'm at work.
What's that? I'm still not on.
She's pooping in the
Oh,
floor.
pooping
Yes, while
on
I'm
the
at
floor.
work. Yeah, on my
Mhm.
carpet.
And this is new?
Yes,
Oh,
I.
Do you
And
want to explore it? I mean, this might, who
I'm
knows? I
curious to
don't know
know
if it's
this
going to go
process is
anywhere,
going
but
to tell us.
yes,
would you like to explore that?
yeah. Do I have to get in her head?
No,
Okay.
no. The thing is, most of the time, the other person is not going to be there. In fact, it probably would be not too good for them to be there. And I just also want to mention that you don't want to ever be intruding on someone's privacy and trying to find out their, their wildest secrets or anything. That this is all done for a positive purpose.
Yeah.
But I think that's an interesting one. I think I might want to try that with one of our dogs too.
Oh,
Okay, so I guess do you want to
I don't know. You tell me.
Oh, well, you could. Do you want to go on the floor? No. I mean, what would you like to do to move into another position to get their perspective?
Um,
Oh, you could just imagine,
of that.
Well, just maybe it is more. Would you like to do it as a guided visualization? We could do that.
Sure.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
Because both work, and that way you can more easily imagine
Yes.
entering their kind of perspective.
Yes. Yes.
Does your dog have like a little bed or someplace where they often lie?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so we can just have you imagine going there when it gets to that. Okay, so we'll just do a quick little relaxation, and everybody might want to join in. It's always wonderful to just to let go a little bit. So breathing in the most amazing light and love from the universe around you. Inhaling nice breaths. And as you exhale, release. Just let go of anything that is not serving you now. So you're breathing in lighter energy and exhaling anything that's heavier. And just allowing yourself to relax and feeling yourself more in your body. Also, as we so often do, asking any energy that is not your own to leave your space. Sending it back where it came from. Can be other people, other places, other times. With love, always sending things lovingly back. And then asking any energy of your own that you've left elsewhere to come back to you. So you can just be more present in your body now. How does that feel, Marcia?
Very calm.
Oh, good. And of course, from there, you might want to, well, I would suggest let's just breathe love into your heart. So we'll approach this process from a loving place, loving your little dog. What's your dog's name?
Sissy.
Sissy?
Yes.
Okay, so just feeling the love in your heart for Sissy. And from where you are now, Marcia, is there anything that you want to mention before you go over to see what Sissy is experiencing?
No, she's just a sweetheart.
Okay. Okay. So would you like to imagine now just going into a place where she goes and just where you can experience what she's experiencing?
Okay.
And let me know what you notice when you get there.
First off, there's sadness there because I'm not here, because I'm not at home.
Not at home enough for her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And anxiety. Just, I don't know if it's fear. Well, I guess it's based in fear, but
Mm-hmm.
she's just really anxious. Just,
When you're gone.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I, um, yeah. She's, she's old and, um, she's feeling it. She's feeling her oldness.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Just a little slower, maybe a little confused.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that can happen.
Yeah.
What is she confused about? Just
Um, sh losing, losing her, figuring, can't figure out where she is sometimes. Um, like things don't look familiar for
mm-hmm.
sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Does that relate at all to why she becomes anxious when you're gone?
I would think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wandering. She wanders around trying to find peace.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes me sad. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's finish perceiving what she perceives, and then we can come back and talk about that a little bit. So is there anything that you notice about why she is pooping on the floor?
Um, not, um, if I was here, it wouldn't happen. Is what I'm getting. Um, she, she's having, she's having a hard time. Um, she's just having a hard time with knowing she's supposed to go outside, but it's the wrong timing or something.
Mm-hmm. Well, does she get confused if she can't go out?
I think must, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's no one here, and she
Mm-hmm.
needs someone here to be able to tell them
Mm-hmm.
I need to go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I, she can't hold it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
Is there anything else that you want to mention before we come back, bring you back and talk about you? You know, how you feel?
Yeah. Her her anxiety is not just is a her anxiety is affecting her physically. Seems like
Can you say that it's affecting her physically?
her
Did you?
yes, her anxiety is affecting her physically.
Meaning, in
Um,
what way?
um, I think her tummy is upset.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Uh, it feels like there may be something more than that, but can't can't I can't pick that out.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Um, I can't.
Does that feel like it's complete then in terms of exploring what she's experiencing?
Yeah, I can't see anything else right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So then would you like to imagine coming back into your own seat?
Okay.
And we could just bring you back and talk. Would you like to do that?
Sure.
Just to so you can from there just ground yourself. So I'm imagining your feet firmly on the ground or floor. And then breathing in more active energy so you can return to your normal waking state. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Okay.
So, how does it feel having done that just in relation to it being helpful?
Huh. Well, it's understandable now. I don't know if I can stop it, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, I maybe need to figure out another way to. Well, I come home in the middle of the day to let her out,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when I find it, or when I come
Mm-hmm.
home
Mm-hmm.
after that's when I find it, and maybe I need to adjust my schedule. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
You know, there also are those, you can get those little sheets of, for, so they have a place that it's legitimate for them to go.
yeah,
That might be
I've got
helpful.
special rugs for that, and she'll go on the other side of the room.
Yeah. Oh, well.
So, but that was she has sometimes a tendency to wet in the floor, and that stopped right now. But
Mm-hmm.
we got the other. Yeah, I I understand her more.
Mm-hmm.
Whether I've whether there's a solution. I mean, I've thought of doggy diapers too, but then that means I have to clean her up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that
They
will
might not just accept it either. I
yeah,
would think,
true,
you know.
true, true, true.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that she would chew them up. Really. Yeah, that was interesting to feel her emotion. That was
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did it surprise you?
yeah, in a way, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So is there anything you feel you'd like to do, like for just clearing anything right now, or do you just want to have the opportunity to explore what you might be able to do for her?
Yeah, I don't think. Well, you would be clearing it off of me, in me, right?
Mm-hmm. If yeah,
I I
well,
don't know.
one thing is just she's there behind you now again.
Yes,
If
yes, she is.
you want to just send love to her.
Sure. Yes, I have been doing some Reiki, but I haven't.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll send some love to her.
we can all send her love.
Oh, thank you. That would be special. Hmm. She's snoring.
That's cute.
Hmm.
I guess then the next step is just to explore what might be possible to
Yeah,
help with that.
I, I affirm there will be a revelation. How's that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, we'll just leave that to you. But I think that that's a really valuable process for that kind of thing too, I think. That was more now about what's happening than you did before and maybe can help her in ways that you wouldn't have known what to do. Maybe there are things you can do.
Right, right, right. Oh, and I was going to say I have figured out sort of a grudge, but not so much a grudge. But then when you brought up the narcissism part, that's what the thing was. It was came out of the realization that this was a narcissist. Sort of okay. That's nothing I can do about it type thing.
Hmm. Well,
And
did that eliminate the grudge?
so, yeah, yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, there's nothing. They've gone. They're gone. So okay. It's
Mm-hmm. Good. Yeah, good. Okay, so any comments or questions from anyone about that?
Not necessarily about what Marsha, did with her dog, but we can do that for ourselves. I think it's, anytime that we're in a conflict with something within ourselves, we can just go to one side and, speak from that voice, and then the other
Yeah, well, you
side,
go into,
you know.
and we've talked about that. You
Mm,
can go sit in another chair and ask them,
yeah.
and know and get a clearer sense of what they're experiencing.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
And of course, that's what
Mm,
we're doing whenever we're pursuing any kind of a healing thing. That's what we're doing is we're connecting with parts of ourselves. So it
mm.
says, Deborah, is she still here? Oh, there you are. You're back over. You're moving around on my screen. Did you want to share something?
Well, I just had a question because it felt a little bit like, um, so after this process, how do you kind of know where to go next? Or you just use the client's feedback to kind of tell you that?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, you might want to do spiritual plane communication. You could potentially need some healing, although there is the positive thing. And what usually happens is there's more understanding so that it is healing in itself.
And then that's like enough to be like the resolution.
Yeah, but say you go into someone else's body and you realize that, there's something like Marcia's perceiving with her dog, that they're experiencing some problems that actually then, I mean, the next step, who knows what it could be? And that's the thing with and all of the work we do, you just don't know. One thing leads to the next. You don't know what it is until you get there. Yeah. And then there are things that are beyond what our capacity is, like actually dealing with the dog's anxiety and what would be the next step for that. That's not that's not something that I can really help with unless I had some kind of an intuitive sense of something, which I might share if I had it. And then, of course, if the person becomes distraught, then you obviously could do some healing for that if you need to. So, now I wasn't sure from what everybody was indicating if everybody actually wanted to practice. I don't know if it would make more sense to have just to stay in a group and have one person practice with another if we can find someone, because that would seem to be the challenge, is finding someone. Or do you want to break into groups? I guess maybe just raise your hand if you'd rather stay together, because if I put you in groups, then you have to decide what you're going to do in the group. So would it be better to stay together? Well, we have 2 votes for staying together. I guess 4 votes, 5 votes. Okay. And Pauline votes that for the 2. Of course, you have to go. Oh, you're saying goodbye. Yeah.
Okay. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye, Pauline.
Bye. Bye.
Remember, have a nice week off.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Everybody too. Okay.
Okay, so now I guess we would need someone who wants to be, maybe, who knows, just from what Marcia did, maybe something would come to mind that you'd want to explore other than human, or if someone has something that you would want to explore, then we could have someone who wants to volunteer to be the practitioner. It could even be a public figure. I wouldn't suggest Donald Trump. That could be a little bit hard. That'd be a little much. And then you get into real serious narcissism. But it could be just if you want to experiment, explore anything. Well, if we don't have a volunteer, then, I mean, we could just stop here if that's what you want to do, if there isn't any more really to be done. Are we done? Maybe. Yes, no, yes.
I'd like to share one more thing.
Okay.
About conflict that just had to deal with this past week. And because of the parties having more awareness, I guess, of themselves, it resolved. But it was this going on, but not structured. It was like we were putting ourselves in their shoes.
Right.
And seeing where we knew their history a little bit and where they had come from, and just, I guess, allowing what was to be. What happened, it just happened. And it was no anger thrown. It was anger throwing at us. Okay. And we responded with allowance and awareness, and it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
We're the person who was so angry was able to share their perspective, actually did share their perspective,
Mm-hmm.
and we realized, well, their perspective was nothing like what we were projecting at the time. So we
Mm-hmm.
understood it was all theirs, and so it did not affect us.
Right. Yeah.
And so that was
Yeah. And
cool to experience that without having to go into the process with
mm-hmm.
them or with
Mm-hmm.
ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I think I mentioned, I think, the last time we were together, that it can be very interesting if you ever work with couples who are having challenges to do a session with the two of them, and first have them do a soul centering process so that they're in a more centered state, and then have one tell the other one what it is that they're experiencing without being interrupted until they're done. Just not being interrupted, just allowing them to say what they want to say, and then the other one does the same thing, says what they want to say, and then what generally happens is they realize they had no idea what the other one was experiencing, and that there's this kind of then a closeness that comes from a healing than from having that awareness. Well, if I'd known, I wish I had known. Um, it would all have been different. So there are a lot of things that are similar to this that can be done. I had one other kind of maybe wildly different idea. Um, if anyone wants to do it, and we have to have a client and a practitioner, of course. Uh, the client could actually have an opportunity to experience their magnificent self, that the master that they're in the making of being, and ask that master what it is that they'd like them to know. If anyone would want to be a client for that, and anyone would want to be a practitioner to support someone in that might be interesting. Anybody, any interest in that?
I'd like to do the practitioner.
Okay, well then I would suggest that someone take advantage of the opportunity to be the client, because you could really get something very interesting from it.
Mhm.
Anybody? Okay, we've got a volunteer. Wonderful, Shah. Thank you. Okay, so Marcia, you can just go ahead then.
Okay. Well, Shaw, so we're going to explore your magnificence. So just center yourself. Breathe in clear, light energy. Breathe it into your heart. Just let that light energy expand. Feel your whole being, relaxing every cell and structure, and releasing those cords, those energies that got attached to you that aren't yours. Send them back to where they belong. And if you left your energy somewhere, call it back, bring it back home. And just keep breathing into that beautiful, life-giving energy, becoming even lighter and lighter Do you feel relaxed now? Where are you? What are you feeling? Sorry, that's what I'm supposed to ask. What are you feeling?
Yeah, what are you noticing now? That's always a
What are
good
you
one.
noticing?
Oh yeah, how is that now? Or how is that for you? That's another one.
You're still muted, Shaw. Sorry. You're muted. There you go.
Marge, could we
Yes.
have a take two? You know what happened? I had the doorbell blazing away, and then my little dog started. I had so much chaos and everything raining that I found it really hard to even just to be hearing what you were saying. So I
Oh,
pick up
I'm
my little
sorry.
dog. Could we please have a take two? Because
Take two.
Sure. Okay. Let's have take two.
Yeah, and that's good. You want to check in with people because otherwise you would never know. You might go ahead and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
couldn't believe it.
that's good. So that's good. You checked in perfectly.
Okay. All right.
Thank
So
you. Let's go.
let's do this again. All right. So just take some nice, slow, deep breaths. Clear, light energy flowing in. With each in breath, it just flows right into your heart. And with each out breath, you are releasing what no longer serves you. Breathing in again, filling your heart, every cell and organ in your body, and releasing all that tightness, that tension, that constriction of things that no longer serve you. Just breathing that clear, beautiful light energy in and releasing out. Calming, nurturing, releasing those cords that may have gotten attached to you that aren't yours. Send them back to their owners. And any energy you may have left out and about, call it back. Call it back home. Breathing in and out. Noticing that light, that pure, clean, clear energy filling every crevice of your being. What are you noticing now, Shaw?
Feeling very peaceful.
Peaceful.
Okay.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Now imagine that magnificent self that you are, and you're sitting with it. What is it like? What are you noticing about this magnificent self that you are? Does it have a form? Is it physically somewhere in you? Just what are you noticing about it?
I can see an image of her. I'm just where am I placing it? It seems she seems to be just like a little bit above me, not in my body, above me,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm getting a beautiful picture, like she's queen-like. There's a rosy golden color robe that she's wearing, and then around her are all these children, and she's full of so much joy. That's that's the essence. It's just so much love and joy. It's like it's just above me. That's
Mm,
that's the
it's
that's
beautiful.
how she's presenting. Yeah.
Beautiful. So do you, what, is she telling you anything? Is she trying to express something to you?
I just tune in. She's saying, I'm here. Just allow me to be free. That's what she's saying. Allow me to be free.
And the freedom, what is that about? What does that mean to you?
Letting go of judgment. Letting go of judgment. Letting
Is
go of
that
shame.
okay?
Yeah. It's the judgment and shame have, she's showing me that literally big cords like a it's like a fishing net is
Oh,
that the idea. It's like those ropes and cords like a fishing net.
okay. There, those cords are surrounding you.
Yes, yes.
They are surrounding you. Are they attached anywhere to you? Any particular spot?
Yeah. Solar plexus.
Ah,
Solar plexus. Yeah.
um,
And my
anything?
throat.
Go
Actually,
ahead.
I'm getting I'm getting my solar plexus
Uh-huh.
in my heart and my throat. I'm really getting the feeling of all three,
Wow.
and most strongly in my solar plexus, but still like those three areas.
Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. Does she have any instructions? Anything she wants you more to do?
Sing, sing,
Sing?
mm.
Okay.
The singing is really strong. Let's see what else.
There you go.
And know that the affirming, to know that I am perfect.
Hmm.
I am magnificent. So that those to be affirming that, to affirm that.
With singing, maybe?
With singing, yes, with singing. Yes.
All right. That's beautiful, Shaw. It's beautiful.
How does it feel imagining doing that, singing yourself into perfection?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah. I love it.
It's beautiful. Those are major, major to me. Does that feel complete, Shaw? Does that feel good? I mean, complete, not good. I don't need to say good, do I? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Feels complete. Is
It
there
does, yeah.
anything you want to say to that magnificent self yourself?
Mm. Ah, thank you. Thank you for being. Ah, thank you for being that part, for being magnificent and showing me that inside me, that that's what I am, that amazing part of me.
Oh, I
And
think.
the warmth,
Go ahead.
the colors, they're just like I feel like just embracing those colors, and it's very rose-like. It's really, it's, you know, the rose, I forget which one it is, but it has that beautiful, the blend of the gold and
Mm-hmm.
the gold and the pink. It's
Yes.
just like I
Yes.
just feel like I'm being embraced,
Mm-hmm.
being embraced in that. So like what's coming as well now is like, so with the song, the singing life for me, but also to imagine that like it's like being a rose, having embracing those colors as well,
Yes.
and releasing, like just releasing
Mm-hmm.
whatever's coming up, just to let go, let go, let go. And just,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And that feels complete. Yeah.
Mm.
That's
Okay. Well, then start coming back to this to this reality. Just start breathing, feeling your toes, moving up your body, counting yourself back. 1, 2, 3. Wiggle your toes. 4, 5. And you can open your eyes when you're ready.
Mm. Oh wow, thank you. Thank you, Marcia. That was beautiful.
That was beautiful. You're the beautiful one. My goodness.
Yeah, and I'm sure everybody could feel that too. Just
Yeah.
how the beauty in it. Yeah.
It reminded me of Mary Magdalene and that rose, the rose of divine feminine. It was just, I'm sorry, I got excited.
Oh,
Oh, yes.
amazing. Yeah. And you know, what's interesting too is like my whole name is Sharon. It's like the
Yes.
Rose of Sharon. So that's
Brown.
really,
Yes.
that's
Yes.
an interesting, that's an
I have
interesting
one of
thing
those
too.
out in my yard blooming. Yes, I do. Rose of
A
Sharon.
Rose of Sharon.
I do.
Have you?
I do have a big bush of that.
I would love if you could take a photo because I've never known even what it looked like. I've just heard of this. So I was like,
Okay.
what is that?
I'll try to take a picture and email it
That
to
would be
you.
beautiful. Yeah. Thank you. So that was just absolutely wonderful. And Marcia, yeah, you did that so beautifully. The way I know Ina said that before, Joe agreed. Just the way that you talk and the way you have just such a beautiful art in that. It's really very special. And so thank you. Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome.
Mm.
Welcome.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a good example of how valuable it is to connect with the positive. And in this case, I mean, that's a pretty amazing thing.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Yeah. Thank you both. That was so
Yes, yeah,
beautiful.
thank you. Yeah. Actually, like a regular to catch up with the parts because I know my rebel runs wild. Yeah. Anyway, but just to have to really tap in, and of course I've never even thought of it. That's interesting. I know we've got the new course coming up with that, but I've never really, I don't know. I suppose I never really thought to actually tap in with that part of myself. Is it interesting? So here we go. Had a wonderful, wonderful pleasure. Thank you, Jane,
Oh, you're welcome.
for
Yeah,
sharing that
well, I'm
idea and
glad that you
facilitating that.
were able
You
to
know.
do that together. That was really beautiful.
Mm.
Yeah. Anyone
been
comments, questions, anybody? Thoughts on that? Okay, well, maybe it's all been said now. That feels pretty complete to me. If there aren't any other questions or anything. Yeah, that was a wonderful. I think everybody enjoyed that. Well, you can't help but be touched. You feel the energy. We could feel it. Everybody could feel it.
You do, don't you? You get the group benefit. It's
Right.
wonderful. It's the benefit of being in a group. Really,
Right.
it's
Yeah.
very special, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, well, I guess anybody want to share what you enjoyed, something you enjoyed especially today before we close?
I just think you had some really great ideas, especially like the pivot, into the more unusual things that
Outside the
really
box. Right.
outside the box thinking was totally there tonight. And I had some great ideas with that. Yeah.
Well, good. Yeah, and it was actually, I think both of those processes were really valuable. So it does for us to always be willing to expand our perception of what we can do.
Yeah.
That was so beautiful. It is, it's one of those things where it feels like an honor to be able to be present for that, I think. So yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Ina. Okay, well, I think that we're about done now. So thank you all. It was such a wonderful time together. And we have next week off. Actually, that other class that's on a Wednesday, it's not next Wednesday, it's the Wednesday after. So the whole week next week is off. We're going to be actually away a little bit, take a couple days off ourselves. So have a wonderful week, and we'll be in touch. We'll see you next time.
Safe travels.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye.